In the name of God, the most merciful, benevolent. I am Ayesha Rafiq, the English teacher. Today we will learn about the interesting poem written by India Morgan. In spite of war, in spite of death. Okay, in spite of war. This is the poetry gives voice to human emotions, hopes, and dreams. In the poem, the poet highlights the strength of human spirit and the ending power of the love, hope, and peace, even during times of conflict and hardships. Through the beautiful imagery and meaningful expression, the poem reminds us that the kindness, courage, and faith can survive despite the destruction caused by war, conveys reader to believe in a bright future and the resilience of humanity in spite of war. This is an elegant stanza by stanza visual paraphrase of Angela Morgan's uplifting ode of hope. Angela Morgan was an optimistic poet, was a prominent American poet, journalist, and a passionate advocate for human resilience. Her lyric poetry became highly popular during the dark years of World War One, offering emotional comfort, courage, and a spiritual anecdote with the horrors of mechanized warfare. Look at the stanza 1. In spite of war, in spite of death, in spite of all man's suffering, something within me laughs and sings, and I must praise with all my breath. In this stanza, the poetess wants to say there is war, death, suffering, depressions in the world, but there is something which gives me joy, pleasure, and happiness. I must praise all those things and forget the negative aspects of life. Despite the overwhelming destruction, human mortality, and agony brought on by war, there is an indomitable force of joy deep inside the speaker's heart. But the inner music of the hope sings so powerfully that the poet feels compelled to express absolute praise for life with every single breath. Next, come to the next one, stanza 2. This shows the defiance. In spite of war, in spite of hate, lilacs are blooming at my gate. Tulips are tripping down the path in spite of war, in spite of wrath. In this stanza, the poetess tells us about that in spite of killing, in spite of the hate and wrath, present in the world there are many things which bring me happiness, and the delicate things such as lilacs and tulips are the source of happiness and pleasure. This shows that regardless of violence, anger, and deep hatred that plague humanity, nature refuses to halt. Bright lilacs blossom regularly, beautifully, right at the speaker's gate, and the cheerful tulips playfully march along the garden pathway, completely indifferent to human fury. Third one stanza is the voices of garden. This shows the voices of garden. For example, courage the morning glory saith, rejoice the daisy murmureth. And just to live is so divine when pansies lift their eyes to mine. So the morning glory saith, the trumpet shaped blossom represent to call to action, personified as a brave message shouting courage to those facing hardships. And the daisies are personified here like daisy gently whispered. This is also the human quality, reminding us to appreciate simple pleasure amidst chaos. And the pansies also lift their eyes. And it also gives the message that be brave and be courageous. So this shows the hopefulness and optimism. Next one is the stanza 4. This is the universal glory. The clouds are romping with the sea. and flashing waves call back to me that not is real but what is fair, that everywhere and everywhere a glory lived through despair. The active sky plays light-heartedly with the grand ocean below, and the shimmering bright waves convey a profound truth that ultimate truth belongs only to what is beautiful, clean, and just. Throughout all corners of the earth, an eternal beauty lives and thrives even in the midst of deepest despair. Next one stanza is the fifth stanza, the undying flame. Though guns may roar and cannon boom, roses are born and gardens bloom. My spirit still may lights flame at that same torch when poppies came. Even while heavy artillery makes its deafening, terrifying noise, delicate roses continue to take roots and gardens burst into vibrant, colorful bloom. The poetess The poet's internal spirit is resilient. It can ignite its own violet light of hope at the exact same primal, life-giving flame of nature that produces the bold red poppy fields. Next one stanza is the sixth one stanza, Morning's Altar. When morning's altar whitely burns, lilies may lift their silver urns in spite of war, in spite of shame. As the morning sun begins to rise, turning to the eastern horizon into the glowing altar of pure white light. Pristine white lilies gracefully raise their things like silver vessels. The holy display of natural elegance continue to manifest, casting light over a human world currently shared by conflict and malice. So this also shows there is a whispering voice of my ear that wake up from the nightmare and the dream of the negligence and the sea that life in nothing but in spite of war and death, is full of extreme pleasure. This is the stanza 7. Life is ecstasy. And in my ear, whispering breath, wake from the nightmare. In the closing line, the poet hears a quiet, comforting voices in the ear. It urges the human soul to wake from the terrible nightmare of despair, hatred, and war. When we look past human destruction, realize that life's true nature is pure joy, wonder, and ecstasy, standing triumphant against the shadow of mortality. So this is all about the in spite of war, in spite of death. This is the core poetic themes. There is the personification is there in the poem. In spite of there are several examples of personification. Courage, the morning glory saith and rejoice. The daisy memory, the two examples of personification from the poem. The morning glory is personified. It is given the human quality of saying the word courage. The flower daisy personified. It gives the human quality of saying or murmuring the word joy. And the optimism. Laugh and sing praise, blooming courage, rejoice, live, fall back. Born, torch, wait, look, and see. The ecstasy are the words that tell the tone of the poem. They tell that in spite of war, death, man suffering, hate, wrath, shame, and guns roar, and the cannon bloom, and night where there is a hope for living. The theme of the poem is the hopefulness, confidence, and the optimism, which give optimism, which give birth to the um, optimism and the positive aspects of the life. It gives strength to the poetess to live in this world in spite of some negative aspects of the life. There are many poetic devices are used completely. There is the war, death, and suffering, hate, wrath, despair, guns roaring, but there is the powerful which give her hope of life. Lilacs give her happiness. Tulips are growing near the walking track. The morning glory is giving the emotion of courage. The daisy says, rejoice because life is the gift of God. Life becomes very beautiful and hopeful when the look of pansies gives strength to the poetess. The cloud, the a knot is playing with the sea, and the wave call back. The poetess to come out to the hopelessness because there is despair, there is glory too. There will be war and death, but roses will also grow. There will be bloom, but there will be happiness too. The spirit of the poetess will light the same flame which with the poppy altar will shine with the sacrifices, and the lilies live happily in the presence of the war and death. The poetess says that in her ear, hope says that wake up from the aspiration and nightmare because is only the name of ecstasy despite of war and death. So there is also the poet used another poetic device. This is the onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia voices. The words boom, roar, murmuring, and whispering breath is the example of the onomatopoeia. Okay, this is all about the In Spite of War. This is the beautiful poem written by Angela Morgan. Dear students, watch this video, and if you have any confusion, then discuss with me in online class. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.